All right, so we are back in the AMG. I have some minor issues with this thing. I'm thinking after the Stage Tune Wisec, we have lost a lot of boost through our Turbo Smart blow-off valve. I've tried tightening the spring all the way, everything else, and I feel like it's leaking boost. So I feel like it's basically blowing off before the full peak RPM or the let off. Which, I mean, if it's doing that, we're losing performance. And one thing about these M133 engines is they don't have a blow-off valve. It's basically like a flat billet plate. I'll show you guys a little bit later, but it blocks it off. You pull that and you put your diverter valve onto it, and so that's where that goes. So what I'm going to do is, I got the draggy, all that hooked up. We're going to go find a spot, do a couple pulls real quick, and then we'll come back, take off the Turbo Smart BOV, and then we'll do a couple more pulls, see if I'm correct or not. So we just got done doing 2 pulls. I'm pretty decently impressed. 4.58 seconds on a 0 to 60. We'll go ahead and go pull the blow-off valve and then try it again a little bit later and see what happens. We also had quite a bit of wheel spin, so this thing does a 4-wheel launch. I went to wider tires. I went to 350 or 255s instead of the 235s, and I still just have a little bit of hard time hooking up. I'll spin for about the first 20 to 30 feet, and then she hooks up and goes. So, I mean, if I did it on a hotter day, like it's only, what, 60 degrees outside, so that could be part of the reason why it's not hooking as good right now. But I feel like if I did it on a hotter day and got it to hook up really well, we might be like low 4s, maybe high 3s, 0 to 60s, which is insane on a little turboed 4-cylinder. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pull the Turbo Smart blow-off valve and run this again, see if we're losing pressure or boost, and do it again. All right guys, so here on the M133 engine, until we've removed these vacuum lines or pressure gauges, and then remove this intake boot here, and the blow-off valve or diverter valve is just right here on the side of the turbo. Here is the factory piece that goes in its place. So I mean, you can tell that's basically just a block off plate. So I feel like with the new tune that this Turbo Smart, even though I tightened it all the way, I don't have a high enough spring in it, and I don't have one readily available to me to put into it to hold the boost pressure that this turbo is now putting out. And I feel like I'm losing boost pressure. Basically that's capping the turbo off at a certain pressure, not allowing it to build any more boost. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. There's a little vacuum line that runs around to the intake. We'll remove that as well, pull that off, put the factory back on, and then go ahead and make another hit and see if my theory is correct. It's done. See the block off plates now in there, blow off valves removed, and look at the colors this stainless downpipe's turning. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. Now it's time to go make a couple hits and see if that was part of my boost leak problem. Alright guys, just finished my runs without the blow-off valve, and honestly I'm kind of surprised. So with the blow-off valve I ran a 4.58 0 to 60. With it I ran a 4.58, and without it I ran a 4.7. So honestly I don't think the blow-off valve makes any difference besides maybe creating kind of a cool sound. So as you saw earlier, it only took like 15 minutes to pull, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back on, and I might actually look into seeing if I can't order a stiffer spring from Turbo Smart. That way it holds the pressure longer. But yeah, so the blow-off valve's not the issue. My fastest 0 to 60 in this car is 4.58, which isn't bad for a car with 90,000 miles. But we're going to keep pushing it and keep messing with it. next time, make sure you hit subscribe and tell your friends.